Hi there, welcome back. Teacher Harry here, back to our English lessons where I try to give you a better understanding and help you to improve your English. Okay, well, what are we going to talk about today in the lesson? Today's lesson we're going to talk about stative verbs, okay? Now, stative verbs, there are lots of them, and they fall into four key categories. And normally when we use these stative verbs like love or like or hate, we use them in the simple tense, okay? We seldom use them in the continuous format or ing as some people refer to it, but we can, and there are exceptions. As always in the English language, there are lots of exceptions. So I'll give you the stative verbs, I'll give you examples of them in the simple format, and then I'll also give you examples when you can use them in that present continuous format, okay? Now, for those of you who like fast food, you're probably familiar with McDonald's. And if you listen to the ads for McDonald's, you'll always hear the ad, McDonald's, I'm loving it. Yeah, so that's a really good example of a stative verb being used in its continuous format. We don't usually use it, and people ask me, is it grammatically correct? And technically, it's not. But you know, when somebody gets a jingle or they have a poem or there's a song, they bend the rules slightly because they want to get it to rhyme or they want the jingle to be memorable. And of course, when we use something like I'm loving it, well then it does. It sticks in your memory, and then you're driving past McDonald's and you see those big yellow M's, then of course you can think about that. So let's get back to the stative verbs. Sometimes they're called state verbs, okay? So there are many, many more action verbs than there are stative verbs, you know, so action verbs like to hit or to run or to drive. But these stative verbs, there are lots of them, and I'll give you some of them, and they fall into four broad categories, okay? The first would be those about thought or opinions, like think or believe. I think, I believe. There are those verbs about possession, I have. And then the third category about the senses, to hear or to see, okay, to hear or to see. And then finally, there are those stative verbs about emotions, love and hate, all about your feelings, okay? Now, as I said, those stative verbs are generally used in the simple tense and seldom used in the continuous, but there are exceptions. The common stative verbs would be verbs like agree, deny, think, appear, prefer, hear, look, love, like, consist, recognize, okay? So they're good examples of stative verbs. As we said, we can use a lot of them in the continuous format, particularly when we're going to describe some actions, yeah? Okay? And when we're talking about an experience that will last for a limited period of time, okay? So I've already given you the example of McDonald's, I'm loving it, okay? So let's look at a few others. So if somebody's talking about their job, they could say, yeah, I really love my job. I really love working here. I really love the interaction with the client. So it's a very, very standard way of describing your job. But you could also use it in a more dynamic way where you could say, well, I've been self-employed now for 1 year or 2 years, and I'm loving every minute of it. Yeah, so we're talking it there in something continuous. So I'm loving every minute of, and it's a good example of using love in a more dynamic way. I'm loving every minute of it. I moved from a school in the suburbs to an inner city school, and it's really much more dynamic. I'm loving every day that I go to school. Okay. The same with think, yeah? Here's a really, really good example of when we can use it in the stative way, but we can also use it in that ing or continuous format. I think it's a really good idea. She thinks he is a fantastic writer. Okay, talking about your perhaps Dickens. Oh, yes, yeah, I think he's a really great writer or a great author. But if we want to use think in another way, we can say something like, yeah, I've got a bit of money saved because of the COVID situation. I'm thinking of buying a new car, or I'm thinking of investing in an apartment. So it's about time I moved away from mum and dad. So I'm thinking of this, or I'm thinking about that. So it's something you're planning, something you're looking at. It's not something you've decided on yet, but it's a really good example of using those stative verbs in a more dynamic way. In the same way, we use the verb here, yeah? So when I'm sitting here recording my lessons, particularly in spring or summertime, I can hear the birds singing, yeah? So early in the morning, I hear the birds in the trees, so at 5:30 or 6 a.m., whatever time it might be. But if I want to use in a more dynamic way, we could say something like, oh, you're hearing things. So somebody says, did you hear a knock on the door? Or did you hear the bell ringing? And say, no, I didn't hear anything. I think you must be hearing things. So again, a good example of using it in a more dynamic way. Another static verb is the verb to like. Ice cream. I like it. Okay, I like ice cream. I don't love it. I like it. Okay. In the same way, we can use it in a more dynamic way when somebody is talking to their friend and say, oh, I hear you've moved jobs recently. Are you liking the experience? Yeah. So you can use it in that sense. Are you liking your new job? Yeah. You could just simply say, do you like it? But if you wanted to be more dynamic, how are you liking your new job? How are you liking the move to the new city? How are you liking that new car that you've bought? Okay, you can use it in all of those ways. To appear, you look at your driving license. It appears that my driving license is out of date. I will have to apply for a new one. It appears as if the trains are on strike. We'll have to either get a bus or we'll have to take the car. Okay, so you can use it in that context. But if you want to use it somewhat more dynamic, then you could say, oh, that actor that you like, that really good guy, he's appearing in a new production of Gone with the Wind. It's going to be in the city in the next couple of months. Would you like to go? So the actor or actress, they are appearing in a new production on stage. So again, a little bit more dynamic. The word weigh, and that's W-E-I-G-H, weigh. So when we use it, for example, I'm going to weigh the bag, to check if I'm overweight in terms of my luggage allowance when I'm traveling. So the bag weighs 21 kilos, or the bag weighs 16 kilos. Okay, so we use it in that stative way. Or we can be a bit more dynamic. I'm weighing this parcel before I go to the post office because I want to make sure I get the correct stamp, so the correct postage. Okay, so I'm weighing this parcel before I post it. To wish, we sit there often on Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday. Oh, I wish it was the weekend. I wish work would be over. I wish it was 5 o'clock. I wish it was 6 o'clock, because you've got something else that you would like to do or somewhere that you'd prefer to be rather than working. And in a more dynamic way, somebody can ask, what are you wishing for the new year? What are you wishing for your birthday? So is there some specific or special gift you want? Is there something specific or particular that you want to happen in the new year? What are you wishing for? What are you hoping for? So these are all good examples, as I said, of those stative verbs. Okay, so often, as I said, we use them only in the present simple. I like, I love, I hate, I think. But occasionally, if we want to be a little bit more dynamic, we can use I am thinking of. What are you wishing for? What are you hoping for? Okay? Now, the second part of this is about certain verbs that you can use them in the simple format, or you can use them with the ing or the continuous format, and there is no difference in the meaning. Okay? So these would be verbs like ache, to feel, to hurt, or to look. Okay, so let me give you an example of those. So if you've been working in the garden and you're getting it ready for the spring or the summer, you can come home and say, oh, my back aches. my back aches. Or my back is really aching. Yeah, no difference. It's the same. You've got the pains in your back and your sides, your arms. My back aches from all that work. My back is aching from all that work. I was running in the park and I fell over a brick or a stick or on some pothole in the ground. My foot hurts. Yeah? My foot hurts after that run. Or my foot is hurting. My foot is really hurting. Yeah? Okay, so you can use my foot hurts or my foot is hurting. The classic one here was about feel. How do you feel? Somebody will ask you in the morning. Oh, hi, how are you? How do you feel today? Oh, I feel great, thanks. Or, how are you feeling today? Oh, I'm feeling much better than I was yesterday. So, how do you feel? How are you feeling? Exactly the same. The meaning is identical. Yeah? Or your daughter's getting ready to go to her graduation ball and she's bought a new dress, and you turn to your husband and say, wow, she looks really good in that dress. She looks really good in that dress. Or, she's looking really good today. She's looking really good today. The meaning exactly the same. All right, so to look, to feel, to ache or to hurt, you can use it in its simple tense or in that continuous format. The meaning is identical. Okay, good. Well, hopefully you've enjoyed that particular lesson and get a better understanding of these stative verbs and how we use them. As I said at the beginning, if you want to contact me, well, of course, you can do so on www.englishlessonviaskype.com. Any comments that you have, I'm very happy to hear them. I'm very happy to incorporate or include something that you would like to be included in one of the future lessons. Okay, thanks for listening. Join me again soon.